In the year 1900, near a small Greek island called Antikythera, a great storm pushed a boat of sponge divers to find shelter. The water was rough and dangerous. The divers waited for the sea to become calm again. When the storm passed, they dove deep into the water, but instead of sponges, they found an ancient shipwreck. Down in the dark sea, they uncovered old statues and a strange green lump of bronze from a Roman ship that sank long ago. This lump of bronze came from a very special time. It was made during the Hellenistic Age, a period of big ideas that came after the great leader, Alexander the Great. This was a time when people were very curious about the world. In big, busy cities like Alexandria and Rhodes, smart people loved to study nature. They looked at the stars and the planets, carefully watching how they moved across the night sky. They wrote down everything they saw. This love for learning meant they were not just thinkers, but also amazing builders. They used their knowledge of math and science to create wonderful things that showed how clever they were. For many years, the green lump sat in a museum in Athens. No one was sure what it was. Then, one day, the lump cracked open. Inside, people saw something amazing, a small, perfect gear wheel made of bronze. At first, many did not believe it could be so old. But a historian named Derek de Solla Price studied it for a long time. He carefully looked at every piece and knew this was a very important discovery from the ancient world. Today, we have special tools that can see inside the object without breaking it. Using powerful X-rays and computer scans, we can see all of its hidden parts. This technology lets us build a picture of what it looked like 2,000 years ago. These scans show us the front of the machine. It had a big, round face with long pointers. Around the face were markings for the zodiac, which are the groups of stars we see in the sky throughout the year. The machine was a guide to the heavens. One pointer moved to show where the sun was each day. Another pointer followed the moon on its path. This amazing box could show you the sky right in your hands. As we look deeper inside, modern science reveals the true genius of this machine. Scientists have found more than 30 bronze gears, all fitting together in a small space. It is a world of moving parts, a symphony of precision hidden for 2,000 years. Each gear has tiny triangular teeth, all cut perfectly by hand. Imagine the steady hand and sharp eye needed to make each tooth just right. These gears were made to turn smoothly, without a single mistake, to copy the slow dance of the sky. The most clever part is how some gears ride on top of other gears. This is a very advanced idea that lets the machine show complex movements with just a few parts. It is a sign of deep thinking, of a mind that could see the universe as a beautiful, working clock. On the back of the device, two large spiral dials tell another part of the story. These were not for telling the time of day. They were for looking into the future, to predict great events in the sky. One of these is the Saros dial. It tracks a cycle of 223 months. The ancient Greeks knew that this cycle could help them know when an eclipse of the sun or moon was likely to happen. It gave them the power to predict when the sky would darken. They even carved small symbols on the dial. These symbols might have told them about the eclipse, like what color it would be or how big it would look. This was not just math, it was a guide to watching the wonders of the cosmos. But a smaller dial on the back held a very human surprise. It did not track a planet or a star. It tracked people. This was the games dial, and it is a powerful link to the ancient world. It showed the 4-year cycle of the great Pan-Hellenic Games. It listed the games at Isthmia, Pythia, Nemea, and of course, Olympia. This little dial connects the grand clockwork of the universe to the rhythm of human life and celebration. The machine's greatest secret, however, is how it modeled a sky that was not perfect. The ancient astronomers knew the moon's speed changes as it moves around the Earth. It speeds up and slows down. To show this, the creator used a simple but brilliant system. A pin on one gear moved inside a slot on another. This clever trick made the pointer for the moon speed up and slow down, perfectly matching what they saw in the night sky. This brings us to the biggest question of all. Who could have made such an amazing machine so long ago? The mind that imagined this was brilliant, a true genius of the ancient world. We don't know the creator's name for sure, but we have clues. The words written on the machine point to a workshop, maybe on the Greek island of Rhodes. This island was a famous center for learning about stars and building machines. Some think it could have been made by the great astronomer Hipparchus or someone who learned from him. The existence of this one object changes how we see the past. It proves that people in the ancient world had skills we thought were invented much, much later. They understood how to make complex gears to show the movements of the sky. This knowledge was like a bright light that was lost for a very long time. After this machine was made, this kind of complex gear work disappeared from history. It would not be seen again in Europe for more than 1,000 years. It was a path of science that was forgotten. But the idea behind the machine never truly went away. The wish to understand the sky and our place in it is something people have always felt. It is a deep-down human need to look up and wonder. This ancient computer is the great-great-grandfather of so many things we have today. It is connected to the beautiful moving models of the solar system from a few hundred years ago, and it is connected to the planetariums we visit today to see the stars. The shipwreck where the machine was found is still being explored today. Divers are still carefully searching the deep water. What other secrets are waiting down there in the dark? The Antikythera Mechanism reminds us that history is not a simple straight line going up. It has high points that were forgotten and then found again. It is a beautiful echo from a lost world, telling us there is always more to discover. And so, the Antikythera Mechanism rests not just as a piece of ancient metal, but as a deep echo from a lost world of knowledge. It whispers of a time when the human mind reached for the stars with gears made of bronze. The biggest mystery is not just how it was made, but how all this knowledge was forgotten. This device was more than a calendar or a clock. It was a small universe in a box. It showed the ancient Greeks' deep need to see order in the world around them, to understand their place among the sun, moon, and planets. Without our modern tools, like special X-rays that can see inside objects, these secrets would have stayed locked away. It took our own age of technology to finally understand the genius of an age long past. The people who built this saw beauty in numbers and patterns. They believed the movements of the sky were a perfect, heavenly dance. This machine was their way of bringing that perfect dance down to earth, to hold it in their hands. It makes us wonder, what other amazing things did they create? If they could build this, what other inventions and ideas have been lost to time, waiting at the bottom of the sea or under layers of dirt? And why have we only found one? Was this a special, one-of-a-kind masterpiece, made by a single brilliant mind? Or were there many of these, and this is just the only one lucky enough to survive? We simply do not know. Before this discovery, no one thought people could make such complex gears for another 1,000 years. This single object proved that ancient people were capable of so much more than we ever gave them credit for. We can imagine who might have owned it. Perhaps a great thinker or a rich captain who sailed the seas. They would turn the crank and watch the heavens move, feeling a powerful connection to the universe and its secrets. The desire to understand the world is a timeless human quest. The builders of this machine used their best knowledge to answer the same questions we ask today. They looked up at the sky with the same wonder we feel. The Antikythera Mechanism is a beautiful reminder. It tells us that history is full of surprises. It proves that there are still incredible stories hidden in the quiet corners of the past, waiting for us to listen.